Airspeed is alive. Manflex 55 SRS runway, auto thrust is blue, and we climb now all the way up to flight level 340 in this lovely looking set of conditions. This is the furthest east I've gone, I'm pretty sure, because the other one was Montenegro, wasn't it, which was Tivat there. Why is that not tracking? Cannot connect. What? Simlink? Why is Simlink not running? Simlink. What? No. No. So I've just been flying for 50 minutes and it's not been recording. Basically, I'm going to restart my PC and start completely again because I hit sign out by accident on my PC earlier, and basically loads of my icon tray apps and things weren't working, including things like Simlink, which wasn't on. I think you might have already seen a little thing of that. NZXT cam that does all the temperature monitoring and stuff like that wasn't on. And then Stream Deck. So I pressed buttons on my Stream Deck and it hasn't actually changed anything, and it hasn't started recording on OBS. So yeah, I'm fuming. Absolutely fuming. I've just done 50 minutes of this flight and now I've got to start again. So let's go. Hello everybody, welcome to Chaz Draycott Media and welcome to another episode of Microsoft Flight Simulator. Welcome back to the Airbus A321. Sierra X-Ray Golf Romeo Alpha is our wonderful chariot today, thanks to Christopher. Now I believe it's either Koczan or Koczan, so hopefully I don't butcher your name or, well, buxer your name today, Chris, but thank you so much for chartering this flight. Another one of the many charters that I have coming up on my channel in the near future. Well, I mean, they've been running for a long time now, and we're going from Athens to Rome Fiumicino today. As you've probably seen at the start of this video, this is the second time I'm going to be doing this flight. Basically, long story short, it's my own fault for not checking, but basically I had an issue earlier where I had to try and get to Task Manager on my PC, and I hit sign out by accident. I then cancelled the sign out and stayed on the PC, but it closed a lot of the icon tray sort of programs and the smaller behind the scenes things. So I press a button on my Stream Deck to start recording because I have OBS in the background behind SimBrief on my left hand screen most of the time. I hadn't checked it, and yeah, because Stream Deck's app wasn't running, even though it displayed all the right stuff, it wasn't actually connecting to OBS, so it hadn't started recording. So I've got 50 minutes of footage on the camera, but nothing on my PC, so we're going to start again. Today we are Air Crete for Charlie Kilo, going from Athens all the way up to Rome Fiumicino today. We're going to be on 03 right on the Core 1 Echo departure. We're going to 16 left on the Lat 3 Alpha arrival, and what I've been doing is checking flight radar more. So basically, instead of just relying on VATSIM and just guessing what SimBrief tells me, check flight radar, see what they're doing in the real world, because at the end of the day this is based on real world conditions and flight times and stuff like that, so you may as well mimic that as closely as you can in the sim. I'm using my usual VATSIM scratchpad and a checklist. I got a flight sim TO for the Airbus A320, and it obviously applies still to the A321 as well. You don't have to watch me setting up all my cameras and stuff now, which is going to be nice for you lot, so you get to see me just do this as is. But we're going to now get the aircraft set up, external power, nav left, right, centre, outer pumps, and obviously the batteries. Listen, such a good noise. Strobe to auto, Avon logo light on, no smoking signs to auto, and arm the emergency exits. We've got the crew oxygen supply on just there. Okay, that's all done up there. The QNH at the moment is 1016 here at Athens. I had a nice little chat with a guy on the ground on the previous flight. Unfortunately, it was obviously not... Right, start that sentence again, I'm flustered. I had a nice chat on VATSIM with a guy who was flying as Nordfly. He's going up north today, and he was parked right next to me when I did it earlier and took off. I've actually got a screenshot. He was just a couple of gates down. I need to update my QNH because it was 1017 earlier, now it's 1016. Block fuel is 9.5 today, if no livestock. Funny. Let's do our engine tests. Yep. And the APU. Cool. Sorry, in the little break I've had before starting recording again, I've just downed a load of cookies, and because I was absolutely starving. Simple as that. I know the initial altitude today is going to be 9,000. I don't want to take anything away from this though. I don't want to rush through it now because I know what happens, but it's unfair if I rush through this and don't show you lot what I'm doing. So the transition altitude is 9,000. I couldn't see any sort of initial climb clearance or anything on this chart, so what I've gone for is just straight up to 9,000. Once we complete the turn to the right, that's when we then go up to flight level 340, which is going to be our cruising altitude today. We get an init request on the go. We're also going to get GSX to start boarding. We're not going to attach the pushback tug, and we're going to open up these cargo doors because in the previous one they didn't open automatically. You see these ones open automatically, I'm sure. Look, that's in, we are SEH Air Crete for Charlie Kilo today, which is Sky Express in there. Cost index is 25, and like I say, it is 340. Cruising flight level. Once the aircraft is loaded, it should be able to send it to the MCDU in a massive balance. Yeah, nice, it's got that in there, that's really cool. And then we want to go to our flight plan from LGAV on the departure. Let's just make sure we're on 03 right, core 1 echo. This is going to be a little bit of a display in how quickly you can actually set this aircraft up. And on the arrival, we are going ILS 16, but we're going for X-ray on the Lat 3 Alpha. There it is. And the VIA is Exama. Cool. One thing I learned is that with the ILSs, you usually get, I'll show you again, you get X-ray, Whiskey, you get Yankee, you get Zulu. Apparently what you're supposed to do is go backwards in alphabetical order. So you use Zulu and then obviously Yankee, X-ray and so on. That's how it works. I was always confused as to which one to use whenever I came into an ILS that had multiple options. You should just go for basically the latest one in the alphabet. So that's all in there. Let's just check everything's all linked up. Cool. Beautiful. On the way in, there's a big area where you can lose a lot of speed as well and lose a lot of your altitude. Look at this. Very, very nice run into the airport. So we're going to use all of that. We're going to have a really long arrival into the airfield. Block time today, I believe, is 2 hours 15 minutes. 2:16. Airtime is 1 hour and 48 minutes on this flight today. Okay, once again, as I did in the previous flight, I've flown through all of this to get it all set up. Did I align the... Yeah, I did. IR align, in 3 minutes. So yeah, I've gone a bit quick for all of that. We're going to move that, put predicted wind shear on, lock that, make sure that the transponder is on TA and auto. Yeah, I'm pretty much just waiting for boarding now. But we need to connect to VATSIM as well. We already are. Yeah, I'm a little bit flustered after before. I'm really annoyed at that because I was having a really, really productive day this morning. And yeah, I don't get all the hours in the day, and I do a lot of stuff like this, so you know it takes up the majority of my day. When I do a flight like this, I know that I'm putting off everything else because I can't do anything else on my PC because it's pushing hard to make this look as pretty as possible and record it. So yeah, I need to just get on with this and get the flight done. But I don't want that to detract from the video. I don't want that to make this video any worse. I don't want it to have me be miserable. I'm still excited to fly this. At the end of the day, I love the A321. I was explaining before that it's always interesting because all this is the same. This is the same cockpit, the same look, but you know that the aircraft is different behind you. I don't know. There's a strange feeling with it, and I really do like the A321. It's grown on me massively over the years. I know that it's made to compete with and replace the 757, especially in the form of the A321neo, but I was a little bit bitter over that, and now I'm not because I think it's a great, great aircraft. Let's do our departure perf while we're in here. We were flaps 2 earlier. Yeah, 161 on flaps 2. That's pretty mad, isn't it? Flex temp is the same 55. Yeah, that's a high V speed, but it's a big old jet. Big, big jet. Actually, let's check. What is the weight? Zero fuel weight 67.9. Heavy. Takeoff weight 77 tons. That's a chunky A321. Considering how big an airport is, or considering how big an airport this is, there's no one here. It's really strange to me that. I parked over here on these remote stands just thinking that I was at least out of the way if it was busy, but No one here. Lovely little jet this though, isn't it? The A321. I say little, it's big, but as you can see, it's the sharklet version of it. There's now about 10 different A320s and A321s and 19s that you can use thanks to Phoenix. There's so many of them. And this is the CFM-powered Sharklet A321. It's not a Neo, even though it's got the Sharklet look about it of a Neo, but it's definitely not one. There is the bong from GSX. Sorry, I posted a screenshot from the previous flight onto Facebook to say to people, you know, where's Chaz going today? Because I'm supposed to be going to Harama for the finale of the Goodyear FIA European Truck Racing Championship in a day or two. And I wanted to, well, actually, I'm going tomorrow. And I tricked people into thinking that that's what I was doing now. And yeah, obviously the people that don't know about Sky Express and what airlines operate where, they didn't know that I was definitely not going there, and I'm actually going to Rome Fiumicino in the sim. So, we are now done with boarding. We will operate the stairs and get rid of those via GSX. Go away, and then we can prepare for pushback and departure, in fact.
Athens traffic, Air Crete 4 Charlie Kilo preparing to push back from stand Bravo 43 for runway 03 right, Athens.
What else needs doing? Let's actually look at the checklist. Windows and doors closed, beacon light will go on, thrust levers are definitely in idle, so we'll put the beacon on. Passenger seatbelt signs go on. We need to start the APU. Today.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
One thing I have noticed about this aircraft this morning is that the sounds outside are very quiet. I think we've got APU available now, nearly. Come on. She's going to push us back in a minute, so we need to crack on. There we go. APU bleed comes on. External power off. So let's check the rest of the before push. External power is disconnected. Yeah, all golden. Okay. They're going to now attach the tug. And we'll be pushing. We're going to go to 03 right. We're going to go holding point Delta 2. And that's going to be via Kilo and Delta. Let me show you on here. So we're pushing from Bravo 43 facing southeast on Kilo Orange, or just on Kilo, across Charlie, down Delta, all the way down here to Delta 2, and then we'll take off. Nose left.
Release parking brakes, please.
Parking brakes are off. Let's start the engines.
Athens traffic, Air Crete 4 Charlie Kilo pushing back stand Bravo 43.
Ignition, engine 1. Okay, we have a good engine start on engine 1, so let's now shift it down to engine number 2. And set the parking brakes.
Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take a life jacket from under your seat. Remove from the pouch and put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist and click together. Pull the strap to adjust. Do not...
Okay, there goes the tug. Bypass pin has been removed. Left is clear, right is clear apparently. Crack him. Before we get going then, so engine mode goes back into normal, flaps get set to 2, speed brakes get armed, and then we want the APU bleed and the master switch off. Bleed off, master switch off, and then the... Well, that was horrific. Pitch trim and rudder trim, runway turn-offs, we'll put them on in a minute. Nose light goes to taxi. Okay. Yeah. That's it. Off she goes. Bye-bye, love. Okay.
Athens traffic, Air Crete 4 Charlie Kilo taxiing runway 03 right, holding point Delta 2 via Kilo and Delta.
Parking brake off. Let's go. Thanks once again, Chris Koczan, or Koczan, however you say it.
5 Yankee Mike. Runway Vicky taxiing at stand 07 Athens.
Very, very difficult to understand that guy. I'm not going to tell him.
Correction, lot 580 Mike taxiing at gate Bravo 07 Africa.
Or do I? No, just leave it. I spend too long moaning about stuff on VATSIM. But we are now taxiing away from the gate. Here we go. So we're going to go straight across Charlie here.
5 minutes.
Last station call in, your microphone is almost unreadable.
The 59 final 03 left.
Yeah, that got slightly better.
On to Delta. And then we'll be going all the way down here. So we need to put the auto brakes on max. We need to check the cabin. And when we do that, we need to then come down here to change the radio and sort that so that we can hear from the cabin. And then we need to do a takeoff config test, which is normal. We should get, hello captain, the cabin is now ready for you to plough it into the sky. There's an aircraft on stand over there. Aegean A320. The aircraft is pulling right. It was doing this earlier as well. It doesn't stay in a straight line on here. There she is. Ready?
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for takeoff.
Thank you, love. Yeah, the aircraft doesn't really stay on the straight and narrow down here. It's really weird. Still, it's a lovely airport to be at, is Athens. Really lovely. And again, this is somewhere that I wouldn't normally go in terms of flying. I often just sort of sit between the UK and Northern Europe and don't really go much further than that. And this is the most eastern I've been. In the previous running, I had a look at the Satu Mare airport in Romania to see if that was further east. I'd look at Budapest as well. Budapest is nowhere near as east as this. And yeah, this is the most the furthest east I have flown from. So thank you very much, Chris. Got a Polish 737 taxiing across in front of us there. I think that was the aircraft that landed not too long ago, actually. Just getting into their gate. I do really love the sounds from the cabin of this thing, actually. If we just go onto that camera again, listen. Just listen to it rev. Sounds great. It's so good. So good. It actually stayed nice and straight there. I always worry when I do those beauty shots. I have to make sure that I am in a perfectly straight line. And even then I'm adjusting on the stick to make sure that the aircraft doesn't veer off.
Athens traffic, Air Crete 4 Charlie Kilo will depart runway 03 right from Delta 2.
Let's get the runway turn-offs on, landing lights on, nose light to take off, strobe goes on. Everything is good. We have auto brakes set to max, flaps set to 2. We'll start the clock down here. Turn onto the runway at Delta 2. Are we ready for the second time? I had a really lovely takeoff last time, a nice slow and smooth rotation. I really nailed it to the flight director, so hopefully I can do that again this time. It's a long runway, and I tell you, getting to 161 knots is quite the feat in this thing. It's a big old plane. Come on, get onto the runway, pig. We're quite far down here at Delta 2. We're almost on a threshold, as you can see by these arrows. But we turn on. 03 right established. Up to 50%. It makes a great noise, does this, with the CFMs. Listen. Manflex 55 SRS runway. Auto thrust is blue. Airspeed is alive. 80 knots, so coming back on the forward pressure. Still turning it over to the left, which is interesting. The aircraft is definitely pulling right today. We've only got a 1 knot wind at the moment, so no headwind or anything. 140 knots. Got it, it's pulling to the right. Here in 160 knots now. 160 V1, rotate. Get a lovely smooth rotation. Positive rate of climb, gear up. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Like I've said, I love this aircraft. You know, it's the same cockpit and the same idea as the A320 and the A319, but when you know you're in the 21, I don't know, it's just cool. It's not quite like flying a heavy, but you know, it's still interesting. So, with a bit more cloud than we had before, we now keep our eyes on the screen. Throttle to climb. Got a nice smooth screen. Is it doing that TA? Has it gone away from TAA again? You know what I mean? Disarm the ground spoilers. What else was there to do? Flaps will come up soon. Nose light and runway turn-offs and all that come off. Climbing a little bit more than we need to. That looks to me like it's... Let's just quickly check. Has it gone? Yeah, it's gone back to the DLSS thing. I hate it when it does that, man. So annoying. Literally, when I was on the sim just earlier, it was on TAA, because I checked it as soon as I logged in. Oh, it's weird. Flaps up to flap 1. We'll get to S-speed shortly. So now we can go flaps clean. I'll fly some of the turn around here like I did on the previous one. We're going to go just over that hill there, especially if I don't climb in time. Up we go. It's a very steep climb, this, look. We should get to about 3,500 feet a minute. Yeah, see how the TAA, it's nice and sharp. There's no ghosting between the numbers. If I change that back and forth, it just changes. So we are now flaps clean. Landing gear and everything came up. Landing lights and seatbelt signs are the only things we need to really worry about anytime soon, other than this cloud with a slight bit of turbulence in there, I'm sure. But the aircraft is so stable. I know that I've got the turbulence and things set down to low after the previous discussions that we had and other flights. It's 1014 HPA at Rome Fiumicino. It was 1015 earlier, so it's dropping a little bit everywhere. Whoa, get that nose down. Treat it like a fighter jet, Chaz, come on. Alpha floor crept up a bit there, didn't it? You see that? It just crept up from down here. Like the hungry caterpillar. Big old turn. Still climbing while we do so. I didn't really announce that I'd sort of left on Unicom, but it is what it is. We should be levelling out soon. We're going to crank that all the way up to 34,000. Get the aircraft to climb all the way up to our cruising altitude. And we're going to put the autopilot in. Smashing. Okay, we're going to turn the seatbelt signs off at this point. And that's pretty much all that we're going to change, really. We need to go into standard pressure. There it is. And, yeah, beauty shot time. Steaming through 18,000 feet now on our way up to 34,000. Some fantastic scenes around us. Quite a bit of cloud actually compared to when I first did the flight just earlier on. But I'm excited now to see what the rest of it has in store because I haven't gotten this far yet. Well, I did. I think I got to the waypoint at Core, which is still quite a bit away, I believe. Core is, yeah, there. So we're still about 40 miles away from it. I think I just got to Ixoni, maybe? Can't remember. Still, this is further than I got before in terms of at least recording the bloody thing. Still, I hope you're enjoying it, everyone. It's great to be in this part of the world. And like I say, that's why these flights are so fun, is that they take me to different parts of the world where I wouldn't normally fly. You know, if it was up to me, I'd just be going France and Germany and Italy and back to the UK all the time. But this is really cool. We are still on TA only, like an absolute moron, so we need to put that on TARA. I don't think there's anything else that needs doing, is there? Yeah, it's just seatbelt signs and landing lights when we get back below 10,000 feet. Don't need landing lights on now anyway. Let's crack them off. Boom. Off they go. Got a really itchy tash. Ugh. to myself, I've noticed how quiet the aircraft is in the exterior shots, but I've just come back here and it's so loud back here. It's crazy. Listen to the interior shots. They're all so loud. And then when you go outside, it's nice and chill. It's the opposite in the 737. We'll be making the right turn at core just now, so the aircraft will bank gently over, and we will now start this long old straight line of waypoints that we've got for over 160 miles. There we go. Following this lovely body of water up there as it joins the ocean. Obviously it joins the ocean behind us, but yeah, really, really cool. We're just over this bit here. So you see where it just separates the island slightly. Really cool. And then obviously we're going to be going back over the water, over Corfu. Oh, Matthew posted a screenshot there. Over Corfu to Capo, and then west over Italy, and then towards Rome. Current local time is 10:47, and you know what's mad is that in the earlier flight it was 10:48 UTC. Hang on, let me just show you. It was 10:48 UTC on there that I would have been starting my top of descent, actually, on the other flight. Mad. So let's go to this top of descent, 11:51 now, so I've lost an hour of my day, but that's fine. I'm not going to moan about it too much. So it's just over an hour until the top of descent, but we're not even at cruise altitude yet, so still a little way to climb. Looks like there's been maybe an aircraft across the front of us. Either that or it's just the top of those clouds. I think it's a contrail of an aircraft going across us. Still, we should get a beep any moment now to say you're near 34,000 feet. Now? It's gone yellow. It should go bong. No? Or is it when it gets within 250? Oh, well that's annoying. I didn't hear the beep. We have reached cruise altitude. That should now change to Mach Alt Cruise. Did it know that we had 34,000 in? Yes. Yes it did. Okay, cool. Cruise altitude, time for some beauty shots. It is 10:53 UTC, and it is basically an exact hour until I get to the top of descent. So I'm going to go away, have some more food and stuff, chill out for a little bit after being so angry earlier on. And yeah, I'll catch you in a sec when we begin the descent. Okay, we are now well over Italy, as you can see, over Ectol, heading towards Rome. Just going to double check that they are still using the same runways they were before. We go down to Italy and have a look at Rome. Looks like no. That is not 16 left, is it? So this could be quite interesting. Let's have a look at what people are doing on VATSIM. There is somebody heading in on 16 left though, actually. Is there anyone else that's used 16 left? No, someone else has used the right-hand runway, which is 34 right. So we're going to change over to that. We've got how many miles till top descent? 30 miles. So let's have a quick check then for runway 34 right. Yep. And we want the... Okay, we can do lap 3 Charlie. That's nice, we can do that. And we will use ILS 34 right. Okay, cool. So now it's the aircraft. We need to go and change that as well because I forgot to do this last time, didn't I? So we're going to do the arrival for ILS 34 right. And we're going to do lap 3 Charlie. And what was the approach via again? It was Odula. Brilliant. Simple as that. It wants destination data in, so we need to grab that from here. Let's get the METAR. Let's just reload this, shall we? It is 1014, so we're going to quickly just do that. And we're going to pop that into here, so we need the perf. And it is 1014. And then we need to get the winds. 010 at 3, so nice and light winds. And then the temperature is 24 over 12. That's nice temperature. And then we'll go on to the charts for the ILS and look at what the minimums are. The minimums for today are 206 on the ILS. Cracking. Let's pop them in there. Then we need to find out what altitude to get down to. We're going to be intercepting at... Wait, what? Why is it going in that direction? Oh yeah, we're going this way around here. So below 9,000 and above 6, so we'll put 6 in when we ask for it. We'll go for an open descent to begin with. And what altitude are we intercepting the ILS at? This is why I don't write this stuff down, you see. We're intercepting at 2,500 feet, so I'm going to just get my... Oh, I've knocked that over. Just going to get my clipboard, and we're going to go runway 34 right. I'm going to write all this down on here via the lap 3 Charlie, and QNH is 1014. Pretty sure we should be descending now, really, shouldn't we? Yeah, top of descent reached. So let's go 6,000 feet. Throttle has gone to idle, and we're into an open descent. We may need some drag on the way down for this as well. That is absolutely fine. We'll get down there ASAP. I do want to have a look at what stand we're going to go on as well when we get into Rome Fiumicino. I'm actually going to check Google Maps for it, you know. Usually you can spot airports from a while out. It's there. No? There. Damn. Usually you get a big white area of the apron that's easy to spot from distance. So let's see, what airlines have we got in here? All the ITA stuff is in there. Alitalia, Lufthansa. I imagine we'll be in this area. Or is it over here? Because Wizz is there, Ryanair is there. That's another Alitalia. So I think anywhere in this sort of terminal. What is that? That's mint. I know roughly what aircraft type it is, but yeah, I was just surprised to see it. Right over here, anything there? Ryanair and Wizz. I think it's going to be difficult for us to spot a Sky Express. Wow, you can get in really close actually. I don't think it's on 3D, is it? No, it's not. I think we go here, in this area. That would be stand... Let's go 612 at Terminal 3, shall we? Stand 612, and we're going to be taxiing there via Delta. Wow, basically Delta all the way in. Delta over to Hotel Romeo. DHR for Dan Holland Racing. We're slightly above profile, so we're going to click 6,000 in and get it on a managed descent. We should start catching up. It wants more drag, so we will give it just that. Get rid of the message from there. And we'll continue on descending. We are, okay, doing 5,000, 6,000 feet a minute down. That's dangerous. Why is it doing that so aggressively? Oh my days. Oh, it's doing it just to catch up with that profile. That was scary. That was very scary. I'd rather you didn't do that, please, plane. Aircraft is powering up, so we're going to take the drag out for now and see what it does. think we'll be okay. Engine's winding back, you can hear that bassy note. Okay, we'll carry on the descent and see how well we can do. We may soon need to just say something about the fact that we're on the approach.
Fiumicino traffic, Air Crete 4 Charlie Kilo on the lap 3 Charlie arrival for runway 34 right. Still a long way to go, still 18,000 feet, but just checking in.
I mean, we're still 60 miles from the airport, so it's unlikely that anyone will hear us. In fact, we are 97 miles away from our destination. Still at 17,000 feet already, so the aircraft has descended very well. Gonna put landing system on now, just so it's got it. 111.55, is that correct? It probably is. 111.55, final approach course 339er. Okay, the aircraft is doing a good job at slowing down and descending all at the same time. Gonna get the seatbelt signs back on. Throttle has gone to idle and the aircraft has shallowed out slightly here to slow down. It's trying to get to 230 knots. So we'll manually tell it 230 because that's the restriction. So at least then I know that I can start to bring that down from there. That's one thing I'm bad at, is managing the speed. It'll be very often that I come in towards an airport doing, 200 odd knots. Look, there it is, below flight level 120, 230 knots. It's slowing the aircraft down. Let's put some drag in to help it, and then it'll start descending further, you'll see. Because now it's dropped the speed, it can then start dropping the altitude. We need to be below flight level 120. I've just read on there it's 1013. I get this quite a lot. Well, according to Volanta, it's 1013. We'll stick to that. We'll obviously pop that into the destination data as well. What else does it say on Volanta? It's 22 degrees. No, it's not. It's 25 degrees. Winds are, 0 degrees at 2 knots. So very minimal wind. Nothing to worry about there. Making the right turn now. We are below the profile nicely. Let's let everybody know whereabouts we're at.
Fiumicino traffic, Air Crete 4 Charlie Kilo, 75 miles from the airport for runway 34 right. Just letting anybody in the vicinity know.
The airport should be just over there. I think it's there. Well, we're going to go right over there, then we're going to go back over there, and then we're going to go over there. As is the way. So we want 220 knots by Basbu, so we will wind that down before we get there. We're going to go below 10,000 feet now, so landing lights are going to come on.
Hi, Captain. The cabin is now secure for landing.
Jesus, scared the life out of me, woman. Right, let's go to 220 knots. Cool. Aircraft is going to slow down. We're going to do some lovely little square turns. We're going to go flap 1 at this stage. Get that on and get that sorted. Let's just check on the checklist here if there's anything I've forgotten. Auto brakes we can set at this point. We're going to go auto brake medium. Actually, no, we don't need it. It's a long old runway. Let's go auto brake low. Flaps, yeah, set. We're going to arm the speed brakes in a little bit. We're doing alright for speed, though we're not coming in hot, so we're going to arm them now. We're going to remain at 220 knots. First time in the whole flight that we've lacked visibility there, actually, which is intriguing. We are well below profile. We need to be above 6,000 feet at this, though, and below 9,000. I think we've gotten down nice and quickly. From that angle, that felt like much more than a 90-degree turn. Airfield is over there. I don't know why I always do this and try and look for the airfields when I'm this far out, but I think it's there. Either way, we've asked the aircraft for 6,000 feet. We need to be above 6,000 here, so it's just gradually descending at 500 feet a minute at the moment, just to make sure that at least something is happening with the descent. 220 knots all the way until there at RF 486, where we get to 210, then we have to be above 3,500 feet. When we need to be above, after we need to be above 6,000 here, I'm going to ask it for 2.5, so it'll manage the restriction there, put us at 3.5, and then obviously we'll arm the approach and we'll slide in. Okay, so now we're facing completely away from the airfield, as you can see here. We're then going to turn around and come back on ourselves and head in on runway 34 right.
Fiumicino traffic, Air Crete for Charlie Kilo. In just a few moments we'll be turning on to final for runway 34 right. Fiumicino.
Okay, we need to come out of standard pressure into local pressure now. And we now need to go down to 2,500 feet. Oop, pop that in. The aircraft will manage us down to 2,500 now. And again, it's just going to continue descending at 500 feet per minute. A nice, smooth descent down. Just going to check our landing checklist. We've got the auto brakes set. We have got the speed brakes armed. We're flap 1 at the moment. Once we go to 210 knots, we'll go flap 2. And then that's everything until we arm the approach and get the gear down. We should be making our right turn now. There we go, right on time.
Rome traffic, Air Crete for Charlie Kilo, about to turn final runway 34 right.
Okay, before we make this turn, we're going to wind it down to 210 knots. We're going to click approach. It's got it, Cat 3 single. Great stuff. We've asked it 210, we're going to now go flap 2. Excuse me. What's that about? A little bit of cloud during this turn here. Aircraft is powering up quite a bit here. It's just to maintain that 210. What's that mean? ILS. Yeah. What does it not like on there? It's not flashing on mine. Okay, so we have approach armed. We are now in a straight line. 210 knots. And we are 20 miles.
Rome traffic, Air Crete for Charlie Kilo, 20 miles to run, runway 34 right.
Okay, we are going to go down to, well, it's 210 knot restriction here. Once we go to Odula, here, we're going to get to 180 knots. And then we're going to let the aircraft descend from there. A funny thing I've started doing recently is sending Charlotte the link to the flights. If you don't know how to do that, you can do it in here. Copy flight URL, and she's been able to track me while she's at work. But she's told me that someone's following me and doing the exact same route, and I've had to explain that obviously that's the VATSIM version of me and that's the Volanta version. The Volanta one a little bit more up to date. I don't know why I display Volanta aircraft on here, to be honest with you, other than to check what friends are doing. Is anyone flying at the moment? No. But when when I'm on, I tend to use the Navigraph map like this. It shows where people are. Where's that guy going? He's going from, oh, he's nowhere near 34 right, it's fine. I think they're using 25 for departures at the moment. Anyway, here we go. We've gone past Odula, so we're going to put the aircraft down to 180 knots now. Slow it down. We've asked for 2,500 feet. We've got the approach armed. I'm just going to wait now until it intercepts the glide slope. We've got an altitude constraint at 3.5, so it's leveled out. It did scare me for a minute there, I'm not going to lie. It's actually gained a bit of the height back. There we go. And then it's ready. There is the descent. It's 2.5, and there is the glide slope. Okay, so 10 miles to go.
Rome traffic, Air Crete for Charlie Kilo, 10 miles to run, runway 34 right.
When we get about 6, that's when we go from 180 to our VAP speed, which is very slow today, I believe. 142, not too bad. But we then pass that to the aircraft to manage, and then we go flaps full and bring the gear down. So it's just a waiting game now, effectively. It's on the glide slope, it's all sorted. And we're all happy. Everything is on up there that needs to be. Put the runway turn-offs on. Get them on, because why not? And there is Rome Fiumicino. Lovely. This has been a great flight. Thanks once again, Chris, for chartering this one. Apologies if I was a bit moody earlier because I had to do this bit again, but I've thoroughly enjoyed this flight today. It's been great to get back in the Airbus after flying the 737 for a couple of flights. Okay. I'd say now is time to go to VAP. Flap 3, flap full, and gear down.
Rome traffic, Air Crete 4 Charlie Kilo, 5 miles to run, runway 34 right.
Okay. Aircraft's moving around quite a bit here. Obviously it's going to be my responsibility shortly. Hope you've enjoyed this one as much as I have. It did say airtime would be an hour and 48 minutes. We've done an hour and 50 so far, which ain't too bad. Hour and 51 it's just ticked over to. I think this is the first flight I've done in the Phoenix A320 with the sharklets, is it not? I know this is the A321, but I mean in the whole family. It's quite cool, really. There's the airport in all of its glory. I think it's the RD presets Fiumicino that I grabbed. Okay. Get my hand off the mouse, I may as well just keep it on the throttles. I don't know why I'm preparing to, well I know exactly why, I'm preparing to disarm the auto throttle. I don't need to do that. That's a 737 job. Okay, in about 10 seconds we should get the 1000 call out. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'll shut up. Autopilot out. Click that a bit early. Okay, let's fly her in. As soon as you knock it off kilter the slightest bit, you start a fight. A little bit low. We're doing alright. We've got a bit of stuttering going on. It's not the worst. Just keeping my eye on that screen. My eyesight isn't the best either, so keeping an eye on that screen is never easy.
500.
Now we're a little bit high, we've got 3 white on the pappies. Is that 4 white on the pappies? Now I'm off centre. Back to 2 white, 2 red.
100 above.
Flicking between 3 white and 2 white.
Minimum.
Continue. There we go, back to 2. Just as we get
100.
to minimums. Big old runway on 3-4 right. God, this thing feels like it's really floating.
40, 30, 20, retard. 5.
Oh, I floated the life out of it. Onto the reverse as we go. Keep it on the centre line. Should be able to get off the next high speed. Yes, we will. Manual braking. Reverse is stowed. Let's get off the high speed.
Rome traffic, Air Crete 4 Charlie Kilo, vacated runway 34 right.
Still going pretty fast here. We're still doing 40 odd knots. Okay, let's get past this line.
Traffic, Shamrock for Tango Hotel pushback on stand 824, facing up.
And let's just... Actually, tell you what, we'll carry on. So we need to just figure out what stand we're going to. I've figured this out already. We're going to go down Delta.
Fiumicino traffic, Air Crete 4 Charlie Kilo, taxiing stand 612 via Delta Hotel Romeo.
So let's put the nose lights to taxi. Landing lights come off. Runway turn-offs come off. Strobe goes to auto. Start the APU. Master switch and then start. And we need to put the flaps Speed brakes all the way. TCAS goes to standby. TA. All good. I've got the flows for that down, haven't I now? Welcome to Rome Fiumicino, everybody. We've got a long taxi in, so I'll give you a little view out of the window as we go down here.
Do take care opening the overhead lockers as items may have moved during flight. Smoking is not permitted until you reach a designated smoking area.
I remember landing here actually with Drew last time I was at Rome Fiumicino actually. He was flying the 747 and I was chasing him down in an EasyJet A320 Neo, if I remember rightly. We had a lovely time flying in on that one. That was good fun. So our taxi route, as mentioned, all the way down Delta, all the way through here, staying on Delta to go around 25, and then we're going to go across onto Hotel, and then in Romeo into 612. So we'll have runway 25 on our right hand side in a few minutes. Long haul taxi though, this. So I'm not sure if it'll give us a warning for runway. Yeah, it does give us a warning for runway 25, which is just over here.
Attention traffic, Shamrock for Tango Hotel Taxi runway 25, via Kilo Whiskey Alpha, Bravo.
Shamrock for Tango Hotel. They're going to Dublin today in an Airbus A320. And now we've gone around runway 25, we go down this long straight of Delta. We need to actually tell GSX what gate we want as well. It's on Terminal 3, I believe. Yeah, 6XX. It's nice that it tells you that. That's really good. It tells you what gates there will be. Oh, there it is, loading in. You know what I mean? Like it says Terminal 3 and then gate 6XX. So it's, yeah, basically any of those numbers. It'd be great if it gave you a range first rather than just telling you a terminal number. So we're carrying on in a straight line down Delta. Hotel is basically over there. We sort of go that way-ish and then around. Where's aircraft over there? Not sure if that's scenery or not. I think that is actually, yeah, that is someone on VATSIM. I'm wondering where Shamrock's going to go. I think they're going to probably go on to Bravo. I'm going to keep my eye on... Actually, should we do it on here, on the charts? There he is, Sebastian. For Tango Hotel. To be fair, I don't think he's going to have any issue with where I am. We should see him in a moment. There he is. Oh, he's in the retro liveried one. Oh, that's cool. The retro livery little A320. One of the prettiest retro liveries you will ever see. Retro liveries are always cool. No, he's going on Bravo because this is Hotel here, this little line along here. So he's going Bravo, so that's fine. Got a heavy spawned in there, Airbus A350 of ITA. And then we'll be going into Romeo soon. Like I say, this is a long haul taxi in. Oh, I thought Romeo was in there. Wait, what? Yeah, we've missed Romeo. Whoops. Oh well. There's the retro Aer Lingus. Look at that. That's cool. Love it. Well, good. Yeah, we're going to have to go around here. It's my own fault for still, after all this time, not realising... hang on, I'll show you when I've done this turn. In fact, it's not even down to not realising, but it's forgetting that this arrow here, that's not really where the aircraft is. The aircraft's sort of in front of it. So the end of the arrow is basically where the aircraft actually is and the way you're facing. It's sort of, I don't know, it pivots around it in a weird way. So that ITA A350, I hope is not in the way. It's in the gate next to us. Not sure if it should be. I think it's heavy gates that go in there. It's the sustainable A350 livery as well, the white one, which is cool. I feel a little bit out of place though, as if I shouldn't be using those gates if I'm a narrow body aircraft, but it'll be fine. On Romeo we go. Oh, there he is. Nathan is going to... Oh, no, he's gone again. RJTT, so he's going to Tokyo. Wow. He's got a long haul flight ahead of him. Tokyo Haneda. There's gate 612. Nose light goes to taxi. Or nose light goes off, I should say. APU bleed comes on. And let's turn her in. Long haul bus this as well, I've got to remember. Are we allowed to park at... I think he's at the wrong gate, is what we've established here. That's not a heavy gate. Let's get over to the right part of this. Come on. Nearly came to a stop. I'm going to be on the wonk here, I'm telling you that. Ah, nearly. Park it up. Okay, and then after, well, the shutdown checklist is parking brake is on, nose light is already off, runway turn-offs are off, APU bleed is on, and then the engine master switches come off. So obviously to do that we go down here and we switch off engine 2 and then 1. Just in case you ever wondered about the size of a narrow body versus a wide body aircraft, that is the size of the Airbus A350. Look at that whopper. It is absolutely massive, isn't it? Sometimes aircraft look like they're all a similar size when they're next to each other, but yeah, the engines on that are, well, I mean, they're probably the width of the fuselage on our aircraft, is it not? Jesus. Nice, by the way, that the jetway is automatically connected, so let's get everyone deboarded, shall we? Come inside NAS GSX. When it loads, request deboarding. Cool. What else to do then after we've turned the engines off? Seatbelts obviously come off. Boom. Excuse me. And then the beacon light comes off. Strobe goes off. And then the fuel pumps up top. Lovely. And welcome to Rome Fiumicino, everybody. Thanks once again, Christopher Koczan, for chartering this today, mate. I really hope you've enjoyed this flight as much as I have. Apologies for getting it wrong the first time, but it's been really good fun, this, despite having a...
6117, we're staying at taxi to holding point runway 34 left.
Someone's taxi. But yeah, fantastic to be here at Rome Fiumicino. Not been here for a long, long time. Don't even think I had the scenery last time I was here. But I hope you've enjoyed doing this. Oh, sorry, I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I've enjoyed doing this. And yeah, hopefully see you in the next episode. Have a wonderful day.